I said salute to the untouchable True School Sports Empire,
That's
taking
right. The
over
untouchable.
not only the South Florida boxing scene, but the worldwide boxing scene.
Well, it's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something that the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, Luis Ortiz, King Kong, fresh off of his loss to Andy Ruiz Jr., I was there. I had a great time at the Staples Center, and I'm gonna continue calling it the Staples Center because that's what it will always be. But I had a great time there. The judges had the fight a lot closer than I thought it was. I wasn't scoring it, but I didn't think Luis Ortiz won 5 rounds, just being honest with you. And I thought Andy Ruiz should have won by a wider margin. I think they actually kind of threw some salt on his victory a little bit, the judges, but that's neither here nor there. At least Andy got the decision, and there was no fuckery on the night. But, a lot of people after the fight pretty much said about Luis Ortiz that, he's getting old. He got his AARP card. He's about 2 steps away from the nursing home. He's so old. He sparred with Joe Louis and he sparred with Jack Johnson. Luis Ortiz has been getting criticized for a long time about his age. Now he's getting criticized for not just his age, but now he's getting criticized more for his punch resistance, because when Andy Ruiz hit him flushed, a couple times he did really hit him flush, he went down and he had a hard time taking the shots. So Ortiz has taken exception to that, and he's putting y'all on game, and he's taking names, and he's talking his truth, and he's talking his shit, and pretty much he's calling out Tyson Fury, he's calling Anthony Joshua. So let's get into what Luis Ortiz says, and we'll dissect from there. So Luis Ortiz stated the following, and I quote, "I have some words of wisdom for some of these boxers who gave their opinion and said I was old because I touched the canvas 2 times because of punches from Ruiz. First of all, this is the heavyweight division. I would like to see most of you lightweight fighters just go up 1 weight class. I bet most of you couldn't last 5 rounds, so think before you speak. You should think about the fact that I went all 12 rounds and I still wanted more. I did not even sit on my stool the last round. Give me my respect. All heavyweights have or will get dropped at some point, so to say I'm old because I went down and got up, then what does that say about Fury hitting the canvas, or Joshua or White or Wilder? Are they old? I mean, I did stand in the front toe-to-toe with the man who weighed 25 pounds more than me, and mostly took the fight to him. With all respect to Ruiz, I'd love a rematch with him." Now, let me just address that last part of his quote, because I was there. He did many things on that. He boxed a good fight. He was using that educated right hand to probe and, maneuver and jab and set up some counters. But if there's one thing that I think Luis Ortiz did not do, and I'm kind of pissed off about it, is I don't think he took the fight to Ruiz. Ruiz may have moved around a little bit more, but Ortiz wouldn't pull the trigger. A lot of times, Andy Ruiz would throw punches, Ortiz would catch them and kind of pivot around them, but then he wouldn't pull the trigger because he's old and he's not what he used to be. And on top of that, there were he landed some nice counters, but he really didn't sit down on enough punches for my liking, and that I was actually kind of pissed off watching him. So, he did many things in the fight, but I wouldn't say he took the fight to Andy Ruiz. That's just my opinion. But, as far as his comments, he then went on saying, I quote, "Hey, Fury and Joshua, I hear both of you guys are looking for opponents. Well, I'm down to fight either one of you. Let's see what you young lads can do against me." So, there you have it. Now, I like Luis Ortiz, and I respect his career. He lives and trains here in South Florida, so I consider him one of South Florida's very own. And so I've always wanted to see him succeed and do well, and I think he's had a great career, which I respect his career, I respect his skills and what he's accomplished in the sport, but I gotta keep it all the way a buck. I'm gonna keep it a stack. I'm gonna keep it real with Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz's days as a heavyweight contender as of August, or what was the day for that fight? September? Whatever day that fight happened. I can't even remember anymore. My memory's all bad now. But anyway, the day he fought Andy Ruiz, on that night, that was the day his reign as a heavyweight title contender ended. Because you can only lose so many times before you become a gatekeeper. And that's not just for him, but that's for many people in boxing. So mind you, look, he's going to be used for these guys coming up. you know, these younger heavyweights coming up, he's gonna be used for them to come up. You know, maybe the only fight I could see for Luis Ortiz that if he wins it, that PBC could make that could really get him into title contention, is if they made the all Cuban, you know, heavyweight fight between him and Frank Sanchez, and he wins, which I don't think he'll beat Frank. Personally, I don't think he can beat Frank Sanchez. Truthfully, so with that being said, I don't think that fight's happening, and even if it was, I don't think he'd win. So with that being said, if he continues to box, he's going to be used for, you know, heavyweights on the come up, you know, prospects, guys like that. Because I mean, like who was there? I mean, there's really nobody in the top 15 that I can think of that from PBC that they would use. But like at some point, like the great country singer once said, was it Willie Nelson? I think he said, you got to know when to hold them and you got to know when to fold them. You got to know when to call it a day. You got to know when to say when, because, you know, he's made good money. He's got a lot of respect in the sport. He's respected by all of his peers as a really good fighter in the division, and nobody can ever take these things from Luis Ortiz. It's unfortunate when he was, you know, maybe like 7 years ago that he didn't get his chance, like around the days when he was fighting like Brian Jennings and those kind of guys. It's unfortunate back then when he was a little bit more nimble and had, you know, all of his physical attributes, that he didn't get his shot. But, you know, that's just life. So that's just how it is. You know, he got his shot against Wilder in the first fight, had him beat, couldn't capitalize. Was beating him again in the second fight, couldn't capitalize. But fought Andy Ruiz later on, couldn't capitalize. So even before this fight, when he fought Charles Martin is a very low-level heavyweight. If we're talking about, you know, his ability, you know, in comparison to the creme de la creme top-shelf guys in the division. And he barely got by that fight. So Luis Ortiz should hang it up, you know. And I'm not saying this in a spiteful way or angry way or a way to put him down. It's more of like, look, you had a great career. You gave us a lot of great fights. I don't want to see you stick around and become a gatekeeper, you know, just out of respect. It's more of a respect thing, if anything. So as far as him calling out AJ and Wilder and Fury, first of all, you had a chance to fight AJ back in 2019. That you were one of the guys that he wanted to fight on short notice when the Jarrell Miller fight fell out of place, and that fight didn't happen for whatever reason. So you know, didn't happen back then. I don't think it's gonna happen now. As far as Fury's got a lot of options. There's literally no reason for him to fight you. You're not a mandatory. You're coming off of a loss, and you're old. So why would he fight you? You know, if you stick around any longer, King Kong, and I hope this video gets to somebody in his team, whether it be his manager, Jay Jimenez, his trainer, whomever it gotta be, because this is the God's honest truth. If he sticks around any longer, he's either gonna be used as an opponent for like the other younger Cuban heavyweight for PBC, Lenier Perro. You'll fight him, and maybe if the stars line, maybe you can get the Frank Sanchez fight, and if you get that fight, you'll lose, and then that'll be it. So I would like that to not happen, and I like Luis Ortiz to go out on a good note. You gave a good performance against Andy Ruiz. You had a great career. Enjoy your money, enjoy the time with your family, and let's look at life after boxing. You know, that's what it is. So yeah, leave your comments down below. Luis Ortiz getting very pissed off that you guys are calling him old, but it's the truth. Age happens to all of us. I don't think age is a bad thing. Truthfully, personally, for myself, I'm looking forward to getting old. I'm actually excited about in my 30s and 40s because I feel like those are gonna be my best years in life. But you know, you guys leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.
Thank you for watching True School Sports.
No, follow this kid.
Oh.
You know, he's a true, he's a young, true, passionate person who follows boxing. He wakes up thinking about boxing and he goes to sleep thinking about boxing.
This is true.
Good kid, good man, and looking forward to seeing him everywhere in the boxing world.
Hey man, if you ain't subscribed to True School Sports, you fucking up, man. Make sure you subscribe, bro.
Fucking up big time.
Make sure, man.